There's a massive movement right now called looks maxing, and this is currently taking place because men have become so ugly that it's starting to hurt them. What is the cause of this ugliness in men? It is estrogenics. So, what are estrogenics? Estrogenics are an artificial version of the woman's sex steroid and hormone estrogen. So, estrogenics mimic estrogen and perform the same feminizing effects as estrogen. They have a multitude more of negative effects, including the cause of many diseases and illnesses, but for this video we will only be focusing on the fact that they mimic estrogen and therefore have the same feminizing effects. Why is this bad? Because estrogenics are so widespread, they are impossible to completely avoid. Therefore, all of us are full of estrogenics and we are receiving their feminizing effects both physically and mentally. And estrogenics are bad for women as well, by the way, because they're fake. They have so many more detrimental effects regarding, as mentioned previously, diseases and illnesses. They have so many detrimental effects, so they're bad for women as well. However, they're extra bad for men because on top of those detrimental effects, they mimic estrogen, which means they have feminizing effects. So examples of feminizing effects are feminized faces, which means a much weaker bone structure, weak jawline and cheekbones, etc. Another example is feminized fat distribution. This means men are having fat distributed in places where women would usually have their fat distributed. This is what causes man boobs, fatty faces that cover up masculine features as well, and hips, etc. Just to emphasize how devastating estrogenics are, especially for males, let's take a look at these professional studies. So the first study was a study that concluded, or one study's conclusion on EE2, which is an estrogenic. In EE2 in the water said the following: EE2 may affect lobster and other fish abundance due to its high biological activity on fish feminization. And another study concluded the following: concentration of EE2 may affect the reproduction of fish and aquatic organisms in the lake due to its high estrogenic activity. Study 2. Just to mention, there's going to be a few different type of estrogenics mentioned throughout this video. I'll let you know when they are, but things like EE2 and anything that we're talking about that has, well, you'll find that has like a unique name within this video is an estrogenic. It's just a different type of estrogenic. Studies on whitefish in Switzerland have showed that EE2 causes devastating effects to the whitefish's reproductive systems, specifically causing gonad deformations. Study 3. Top publications on the effects of estrogenic on muscles all report the severe health problems caused by the estrogenic, especially concerning reproductive problems and causing intersex changes as well as making them unable to reproduce. 4. Chicken eggs were studied and found to contain high amounts of estrogenics. Chicken meat is full of atrazine, which is another type of estrogenic, as chickens are fed a corn-based diet, and atrazine is the most heavily used chemical for spraying corn. Chicken meat is also usually full of phthalates, another estrogenic, as they are wrapped in plastics. Study 6. A study showed when turtles were exposed to BPA, they experienced gonad dysfunctions, behavioral changes, and developmental problems. Study 7. Some scientists have requested to ban the use of APEs, another estrogenic, because of its negative effects on the reproductive systems of mammals, fish, and amphibians. Study 8. Phthalates have shown to have anti-androgenic activity, meaning it will prevent androgen effects, preventing masculine features, traits, and characteristics, whilst having estrogenic activity, so it's promoting feminine features, traits, and characteristics. That's like two really bad things from one estrogenic. So phthalates mess up, essentially, in easy terms, they mess up your masculine features, traits, and characteristics, whilst promoting feminine features, traits, and characteristics. Apes, again another estrogenic, have shown to decrease testosterone receptors So that's the amount of sites that testosterone can bind to express its masculine genes, the masculine effects. So there's less of those sites, which means there's going to be less activity. There's going to be less masculine expression, masculine gene expression. And all other estrogenics have shown similar effects. So all estrogenics show similar effects to what has just been mentioned. This means no matter how much testosterone you have, it may not be able to be expressed properly due to your lack of androgen and testosterone receptors. Number 9, estrogenics effects on sperm. Studies show that APEs and BP are very closely linked to infertility. BPA estrogenics have been shown to reduce sperm motility. Soy has been shown to reduce semen quality. And EE2 estrogenics, that is all throughout our water, has been shown to decrease sperm counts. That's an example of how devastating estrogenics are. So now to demonstrate how insanely widespread estrogenics are and how you 100% are definitely full of estrogenics. Number 1, scientists tested alligators' urine in Australia and found that it was full of phthalates. Number 2, ape was found in high quantities in cow's milk. Number 3, EE2 pollution increases directly in correlation with consumption of birth control pills and medicines. Studies showed in China shocking amounts of EE2 in all their lakes and rivers. EE2 is one of the longest lasting estrogenics and is extremely hard to break down. The study showed that after 70 days there was no sign of breaking down at all on the EE2 molecule they were testing on. And so the molecule is carrying through our bodies through the toilet water and back to the water cycle. Number 4, an American team were searching for some subjects to perform an experiment on involving phthalates, and the subjects they were looking for needed to be free of phthalates in their blood. They could not find a single subject that didn't have phthalates in their blood. Phthalates is one of the estrogenics that is used to create plastic and therefore in many of the plastic products, containers, objects, packaging, wrapping, etc. around the world. I'm sure wherever you're sitting right now, you can literally just look up and see something plastic that you've recently touched or recently ate from or even drank from. America also found phthalates were found in every single food group they tested. Studies have shown that fast food contains a shocking amount of estrogenics from the IRS list. That's just the ill reproductive system list, meaning those estrogenics have been shown to cause negative effects to the ill reproductive system. Number 5, atrazine is all throughout our water, lakes, oceans, and rivers. Atrazine is used as a preservative in many herbicides, pesticides, etc. So farmers are spraying all the crops with this chemical, which is causing the atrazine to go all over the food and all over the soil. The atrazine in the soil makes its way to the water because it can take up to 10 years for atrazine to break down and decompose. Therefore, it has plenty of time to reach and stay in the ocean or rivers. Just to quickly run over some other places that estrogenics are found: 4-MBC in the BP found in sunscreens, liquid soaps and products alike, red 40 and red 3 in food items, parabens in fragrances, EE2 in all oral contraceptions, and the list goes on. So we now know estrogenics are 1, everywhere, and 2, not only are they causing feminizing effects, but they are also lowering our testosterone levels. How? As mentioned earlier, they have anti-androgenic activity, which means they're preventing masculine features, traits, characteristics, and development. They're also massively increasing estrogenic activity, so feminizing traits, characteristics, features, and development. So this means we are having a massive decrease in masculine traits, characteristics, features, and development, but a massive increase in feminine features, traits, characteristics, and development. So let's look at some examples of how this is making modern men ugly. Low testosterone, high estrogen, particularly but not entirely, in the most crucial stages of development, so puberty, are causing men's skulls to develop more and more like a woman's. Then we also have feminized physiques becoming more feminized, which results in less muscle, higher body fat, and more feminine fat distribution, which puts fat in places like the face, the belly, and man boobs. Just to quickly mention, This makes us unattractive because evolution and God has wired males to be attracted to feminine features and females to be attracted to masculine features. So how can we minimize estrogenics? Firstly, we can lower our body fat because estrogenics are stored in body fat. Therefore, the lower your body fat, the lower the storage capacity for estrogenics. The most effective way to lower body fat is by eating an all-natural diet and intermittent fasting. This would mean eating only meat, fruit, and vegetables also. And then also sticking to a 16-8 fasting schedule. This means a 16-hour fasting period followed by an 8-hour eating window, sorry. And you can drop it to 15-9 if you have to. Do what you can. So as long as it don't go below 12 hours, then you're going to see some benefits. Secondly is regular saunas. Saunas eliminate pre-existing estrogenics because they speed up molecules and increase in molecular motion, which improves the elimination of toxins and waste, including estrogenics. So try to find somewhere close to you with a sauna and try to go there at least once a week. Number 3, avoid plastics where and when possible. Plastics are super hard to avoid in the modern day, which is why I said where and when possible. If you ever see alternatives to plastic, for example glass water instead of bottled water, then choose it if you can. Number 4, avoid foods known to be full of estrogen or estrogenics. Cow's milk and seafood is full of estrogenics because obviously the fish are in the water, and the water is one of the most heavily exposed things to the estrogenics. And then cow's milk is due to the selective breeding is heavy in just estrogen. An alternative to cow's milk is goat's milk or even raw milk. However, of course, be wise, don't be stupid. Things like eggs do contain estrogenics, and pretty much most foods do nowadays. This is why it's called minimizing estrogenics, because estrogenics are practically impossible to avoid completely today. So, for example, for something like eggs, they do contain estrogenics, but the benefits outweigh the negatives. So definitely do not consume eggs because it contains some estrogenics. Remember, most, if not all, foods contain some estrogenics. And that could also be argued for fish. The benefits do probably outweigh the... In fact, the benefits do outweigh the negatives. But because they're so heavy in estrogenics and they're not needed, and you can get like the vitamins, the nutrients and the minerals that are in fish from elsewhere, from other places, they're not necessary. So 5, all the meat you eat, run it under boiling hot water first. This is known to get rid of some of the estrogenics, but not all. And then number 6 is purchase alternative products. For example, a bamboo toothbrush rather than a plastic one, an all-natural soap bar, all-natural deodorants, etc. Obviously, that one costs a bit of money, so you've got to have the money to do that. And also, I'm going to link a website below to give you access to a ton of estrogenic-free everyday products, which will be below this video. So this is going to minimize the feminizing effects, and whilst doing this, I also highly recommend increasing testosterone at the same time to massively speed up the process of going from low testosterone and feminized to high testosterone and masculinized, aka becoming more attractive and masculine. Estrogenics are merely half the problem. You need high testosterone as well. And I'm going to link a video below going through everything you need to know to get high testosterone naturally. And lastly, I just want to recommend a book for anyone that's into reading or can read. I'm going to recommend this book, and it's called Estrogeneration. And this is going to teach you everything that you need to know regarding estrogenics.